Section 13. Offences procured, advised, or counselled in the state to be committed outside the state. I was in court as early as 8:30 a.m., chatting with a friend on WhatsApp. Then I heard the court registrar read out Commissioner of Police versus Divine Valentine, Ogundeji Olamide, and Odion Elvis. I quickly put my phone in silent mode and slid it into my pocket. Then I turned my attention to the registrar, who called out the 3 names on the charge, contrary to the 4 people who were arrested in connection with my stolen phone. The lawyer from legal department had advised us to charge only those involved in the actual robbery, since the 4th person, they are called Groups Number 1, was not part of the robbery. He was released on bail. He was placed on probation in accordance with Section 56 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, tagged Security for Good Behavior for Suspected Person, where the magistrate ordered him to enter into a recognizance with sureties for his good behavior for the next 2 years. Meanwhile, Emeka, who was meant to be charged for receiving stolen goods, had entered plea bargaining with Bologi at the office to give evidence against the 3 suspects. For this, he was placed on probation as well. After the court proceedings, I bumped into Mr. Ademos's lawyer. He was in court to file for the striking out of the case that indicted his client, Mr. Ademos. He showed me a letter of withdrawal from the complainant, Chief Adegun, Mr. Ademos's younger brother. He actually came to commend my knowledge of the criminal laws of Lagos State and also give me a similar case. His clients in this similar case were charged to court in Oyo State for an offense they committed due to an advice and counsel they received from a third party who felt less concerned when they were sentenced to 1 year imprisonment. Now, they were out to get their pound of flesh from the person who advised and encouraged them to go ahead and commit the crime, who, from the information they got, was laughing at them when his advice and their conduct went south. The next day, the lawyer came to my office with a petition against the third party, one Alhaji Sikiru Gbadebo, as well as the complainant in the matter he told me about. I sent one of my inspectors to take the petition to the AIG's PA, who got it approved immediately. I asked the 5 complainants in the matter to give their statements, which they did, adopting printout email correspondence as well as WhatsApp chats, showing indicting information the suspect had given them. The lawyer also gave me a copy of the certified true copy, CTC, of the court proceedings, showing how the 5 complainants were convicted in a court in Ibadan, Oyo State. The crime they were convicted for was also listed as a crime in the Lagos State Criminal Laws 2015 by a virtue of Section 13 of the Lagos State Criminal Laws, which states, any person who, while in the state, advises, counsels, or procures another to do an act or make an omission at a place not in the state, of such nature that if he had himself done the act or made the omission, he would have been guilty of an offense under the law of the place where the act or omission is done or made, commits an offense of same type and is liable on conviction to same punishment as if the act had been done or the omission had been made in the state. I was able to establish a case against the suspect, Alhaji Sikiru. All I needed to prove was that the offense the 5 complainants were charged with and convicted for was committed as a result of the advice they got from Alhaji Sikiru, and that the said offense the complainants were charged for was also an offense here in the criminal laws of Lagos State. I was able to achieve all this with The CTC, that is, the certified true copy the lawyer gave me, which spelled out what the 5 complainants were convicted and sent to jail for. The approval to the petition came out a couple of hours later, and I quickly did a letter to the suspect, Alhaji Sikiru, stating the offense he was alleged to have committed. We addressed the letter to his employer, a well-known oil company in Lagos State. Surprisingly, he came to the office a day before he was asked to come. I got a call from one of our senior officers and sectional heads who actually tried to plead on his behalf. But when I told him all the evidence I had against Alhaji Sikiru regarding the offense he was alleged to have committed, the sectional head had no choice but to let him go with me. One of my inspectors took his statement under caution, and he was made to react to all the documentary evidence against him, which he obviously could not dispute. His phone was confiscated as exhibit and was taken to IT, where his WhatsApp chats with the 5 suspects were retrieved. His detention order was signed while the legal department prepared the charge against him. As all these were happening, his lawyer was making a series of frantic calls. I saw all the complainants in my office some hours later. While we were about to enforce the detention order, the complainant's lawyer and the suspect's lawyer approached me for alternative dispute resolution, ADR, which I allowed. The 1 hour I gave them was not enough. So the 2 lawyers came and requested I grant the suspect bail and give both parties some time to sign a memorandum of understanding stating terms of settlement outside the police. I did as they requested. 2 days later, the lawyers came to my office with the MOU signed by the suspect and all 5 complainants stating monetary compensation. The suspect parted with a whopping sum of 50 million naira. From what the lawyers explained, both parties would gain nothing if the suspect went to prison. The man would lose his job with the oil company. I smiled as I filed the copy of the MOU in my case file. Then I registered the file closed regarding new development, which I communicated to legal department.
This work of fiction is a production of COSPEAKS, composed and written by Chidi Okoye, narrated by Ikenna Igwe, sound production by Glaze Entertainment, graphics by Illustro Kings Creatives, video production and effects by Kings Media, visual and shots by Sheung B. Thank you for viewing.